Hi!
Hi.
And welcome to the Last Swing Dance Story Days. It's special care. Today I'm so honored to actually have Madam Gita here. Gita Jayakumar. This is the first time we're actually looking and speaking to each other, right? So thank you so much for coming on my show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. So there's just so many things. I think you have not just gone wide in healing, you have gone deep in healing, all right? I have gone through a bit of your Instagram profile and I thought, wow, how inspiring, she's done so many things. So why don't you introduce yourself, okay? What is it that you have done all through these years and just take it away.
Okay, I first started out, my passion was fitness. So I started out I learned yoga and went on trained to become a yoga instructor. I'm a fitness instructor, having gone through training with Reebok. So I do run these classes, and children grew up and went to school. So there was nothing, it was literally so much of time on my hands when I went into Reiki and became a grandmaster. And that journey went on. I was jumping from one modality to another. And before long, I had more than 50 different tools in my kitty. So it started out of boredom.
I couldn't hear your last sentence. Would you repeat that again?
I went into it out of boredom, but it's become my passion today.
Wow, okay, right. Wow, interesting. Never did I think someone would go in so deep into healing because they were born. I was in my mind, I thought you would have had your hero's journey. Still, would you like to share?
Yes, there is. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, there was a hero's journey because you don't come here by accident, but you are here because there is something from your past which remains unsolved. Correct. It was a mystery and it has been troubling me. And that's when I unconsciously or subconsciously got into this modality. But it all started, I think, from school. When I was a toddler, I was in an English convent. And, all you would hear was, God will bless you, devil will punish you, and there are angels and stuff like that. And that really scared me a lot. And I used to tune into an inner voice, I thought it was my God or my divinity or whatever, and I would ask this divine voice for advice and follow it. And that helped me a lot. And when I was in my teens, I took up yoga, and that was a passion. Pardon, I didn't hear that last week.
You do yoga.
I'm losing you.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
I started with Vivekananda Kendra because I'm from Bangalore.
Okay, so who introduced you? Was it your mom, your sister?
Nobody. It didn't run in the family at that point of time. It was just probably it was the in thing, and there were classes all around. So I just went up and took a class.
You went to the yoga class by yourself, right?
Yeah. And it was nice. It was hunky-dory from the word go. But when I started getting into the advanced postures, headstand and sarvangasana and like those, then there was a bit of, I won't use the word depression. I did not understand the meaning then. But I started getting dank, gloomy. Everything was not what it was. So, I told mom after a few months, and mom did only what moms would do, don't practice yoga. So I gave
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, it's clearer now.
Sorry. I had a call come in. That's why that.
Okay. So for
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yeah. You can hear me?
No, just give me one more second.
Yeah, loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, usually I kind of don't anticipate calls at this point. I'm very sorry.
No problem.
Yes. Yes. So yeah,
So,
your mom told you not to practice your breathing.
yeah, so I gave up. And I came back to it to a few years later, and I did a different form of yoga. And while practicing that, there was a memory which just popped up where, you know, this was something I had never known. My subconscious had hidden it so beautifully, but I was a victim of abuse. And that jolted me. So I gave up practicing yoga because my belief was yoga did not suit me. But in the meantime, I had gone into Reiki, batch flower, oils, aroma oils, acupressure, acupuncture, you name it, I had done everything. And there was a point of time when there was a death in the neighborhood. So I had gone there to the funeral, and when I came back, I was depressed, real deep depression, and none of these modalities could help me out of it. I had swap session with people who were into, trainers and with my gurus, my mentors, but nothing worked. And then I decided that I was doing something very wrong. I was going to people, asking them for help to get me out of something which was happening to me and in me. And I realized if the only person who could get me out of it was myself.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of research, and that's where I went into a lot of diagnostic tools to get to the root cause of what was happening. And my belief earlier was I went to the funeral and I got depressed because I saw this young lad dead. But that was not the reason. When I went there, I met the boy's grandfather, who was very, very similar to the person. I mean, if this person, okay, similar to the person who abused me when I was around 3 or 4 years of age. And this was totally hidden. And the moment I knew it, I hadn't healed myself, but that knowledge was so empowering, it brought a total shift. And that is what prompted me to go deeper and deeper and to give to people. Because it's all in your hands, it's all in your body. Your body is so intelligent, you have all the resources. Stop looking outside, look inside.
Wow, interesting. Okay. So I know you have done many, many things, So one of the first things that I resonate quite a lot with, and I've done quite a bit of EFT myself. In fact, I stayed in a house quite a little earlier. She's a very dear friend of mine, and she's an EFT practitioner herself. So we usually sit and chat, and we say these affirmations, and we really shift our mindset for many various things. So I thought, why not? Would it be okay for? I want to ask if it would be perhaps would you offer us this gift of probably a 5-minute EFT session of just saying positive affirmations and what is the right intention to take this interview forward?
Sure, but I thought, with positive might not work directly. So just let's take them through whatever they are feeling and then guide them through to through positive affirmations. So you will be my.
Yeah.
You will be my
So
subject.
yeah.
So if you were to tune into yourself, what exactly are you feeling now, Kartika?
Full.
Beg your pardon?
I'm feeling full.
Okay, but if you were to, okay, just say about half an hour before this live show started, what exactly were your emotions or your feelings? Or in the course
Sorry,
of
I'm
the
not
day?
able to hear you. Oh, okay. So are you
Could you
asking
just
me?
tune into yourself if there was any incident which came up in the course of the day and which did not leave you feeling as happy as you are now,
Yes,
because you said you're feeling cool.
I had an incident with my son. We both actually had an argument. I told him that I had to stop having conversations like this because he wasn't ready to heat his radish. So I said, if you're going to be sitting and fighting every day, this is not bringing out my passion. It's not definitely not enjoying it as well. So might as well we stop communicating. And I think you're adult enough. You can serve your own food. So we had a very heated argument. And I said, I'm going to be stopping to talk to you for a couple of hours. In fact, a couple of days, walking into my room. And then he writes me a letter saying that I'm real sorry. And then he does his Ho'oponopono and, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And he comes and gives me. So, yeah, I was a little full, but I was not at my best self. And, something as simple as, because it's a pattern. Every time he doesn't eat, I get so angry. And, so things like this happen.
Okay, so let's go with this anger. Okay, so even though, and this is to all the people who have joined in, so I want you to tune into something very, very, don't go into anything very deep, but something which is very, very superficial, like how are you feeling at the moment? Just tune into that. So it is anger for Kartika, but for you it could be fear or it could be sadness or anything, but just when you hear the word anger, you will substitute it with the emotion you feel. Okay? Right.
Yes. All right.
Even though
Even though
I feel all this anger,
I feel all this anger,
I feel all this anger
I
where
feel
do you feel?
all this my chest,
In my chest. I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
accept myself.
accept myself.
Even though I feel all this anger,
Even though I feel all this anger,
it's in my chest.
it's in my chest.
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love, forgive, and accept myself.
love, forgive, and accept myself.
All this anger,
All this anger.
this level, I want you to rate it from a scale of 0 to 10.
8,
This level 8 anger
7, 8 anger
in my chest.
in my chest.
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
accept
accept
and forgive myself.
and forgive myself.
So just tap along following the points where I tap. All this anger,
All this anger.
this level 8 anger,
This level 8 anger.
this anger in my chest,
This anger in my chest.
this level 8 anger in my chest,
This level 8 anger in my chest.
this anger,
This anger.
all this anger,
All this anger.
collarbone point, all this anger,
All this anger.
under the arms, all this anger,
All this anger.
just where your bra strap ends, all this anger.
All this anger.
Take a deep breath. Tune into that anger and how intense is it now.
Level 5.
Even though It's still in your chest? Sorry. Where do you feel it?
The back of my ear.
So even though
Although
I have some anger remaining,
I have some anger remaining,
I feel it at the back of my ears.
I feel it at the back of my ear.
It's a level 5.
To level 5.
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love, forgive, and accept myself.
love, forgive, and accept myself.
Even though I have this remaining anger,
Even though I have this remaining anger,
I love and accept myself.
I love and accept. Yeah, karate chop. Please on the karate chop.
All this remaining anger
All this remaining anger.
behind my ears,
All this behind my ear.
I love, forgive, and accept myself.
I love to be and accept myself.
Tapping on the points, this remaining anger,
This remaining anger.
all this remaining anger,
All
eyebrow
this
point, side of the eye, this remaining anger,
remaining anger.
this level 5 anger behind my ears, under the eyes,
This level 5 anger behind my ear.
under the nose, this remaining anger,
This remaining anger.
under the lips, this remaining anger.
This remaining anger.
Tap on the collarbone point and just stay there. And just tune into the anger. And the rest, tune in with whatever emotion you felt or you are feeling now. And just accept it. Yes, I feel the anger. And just go through whichever incident it was that brought up this emotion in you. Accept it, acknowledge it, and just go through that emotion and tap. Accept it, acknowledge it, feel that anger behind the ears. Just feel it, tuning into it and breathing into it. Let whatever comes up, let it come up. Just keep tuning into it, accepting whatever comes up and not fighting it. Take a deep breath. And just, you can stop tapping, just tune into that anger and how much is it now?
The anger is not really there, okay? But this is something I noticed that came up very loudly to me, all right? So this wanting to control my circumstances, see, even while this was happening, Ashikar was making some noise, and it was like, it was giving me directly anger only. Like, why can't you just pay attention, Even at that point, it's coming up, and I'm like telling myself, here I am sitting and trying to, get this anger out, and it's coming up again, right? So it's kind of being quiet, and I recognize that this is probably some patterns I've learned as a kid, maybe my mom used to sleep at me quite a bit. Although we have good, although I and we had like really, really good friends and, we have a lot of deep, meaningful conversation. But I realized that I become angry with him. This is a pattern I want to address.
So that's really wonderful because see, it's like peeling an onion. So we just went through one layer, which was anger. Now it took you somewhere, maybe to your childhood and maybe from your mom. So that's where we need to go and attack this. Work on it and release it. So it's not a one-time job, but it is unpeeling the onion layer by layer till you get to the core and release the issue. So you know what's the next step.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Most welcome.
That is the EFT. EFT is nothing but okay. So EFT is nothing but emotional freedom technique, right? So what is the science behind it? Could you just explain?
Well, it literally means that freedom from emotions. Because now just say some incident happens, okay? And that is not to your liking. It could be a traumatic one, but sometimes it needn't have to be traumatic also. Like, like just say your son is disturbing you and that is acting on you, right? So that creates an emotion in the body. And if that is not addressed, what happens? It gets stuck in the body in one of the channels, in one of the meridians. And it is like, just say, a pebble in a water pipe. Now, if there is no stone or if there are no blockages, what happens? The water flows very freely, right? But if there is a pebble, then it's a small stream coming. It has to flow around the pebble. So that's what happens when there is stuck energy in the body. The energy is not flowing fully. So as a result of which, the energy which has to reach a particular organ or a particular part of the body is not going freely. There is a blockage. So until and unless we clear the blockage, which is an emotion in this case, the problem will remain. So it is that you have to keep addressing whatever issues you're going through on a constant basis. It's not a one-day job.
Seriously, so true, so true. Yeah. So that was EFT, and I think all of us are so grateful for that experience, a life experience, in fact, of how EFT session, a mini session would look like. Obviously, much more deeper than that. Repetitive affirmations would happen, and from time to time, she'll be checking how you're doing now, what else you'll be working. So that's beautiful, and now because I've done a little bit of EFT, I know. Now I want to ask you, what is BWRC?
Well, it means brain work recursive therapy. And the principle of this therapy is you can take the bad reaction or an emotional reaction that you have to an issue and replace it with a preferred response. Well, just say something happens, okay? And the brain doesn't know, how to react. It goes back to the old files and there will be a replica of this incident and you would have acted in a particular way. So the brain sends the response, this is how you acted then, act now. So you will see that you have, like just say emotional eating. Something is not going the way you want, you take a sweet. So does it stop it today? No. Tomorrow you have another issue of the same nature and what do? You go and reach out to a sweet.
So the brain likes familiarity, right? So if you know something and it wants to go back to the familiarity, and when it's presented with something is unfamiliar,
then that is pardon.
It will bring back to that because that is how the neural pathway has been formed for a very long term through conditioning. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Now, this is because these incidents are all similar, but what happens if something, unfamiliar happens? That is where you have anxiety.
Yeah.
Right? Response. And the issue is gone away. It's such a brilliant technique. It just goes off like that. You ask the client, is it there? No, it's not there. Or yes, it's there, but there's no charge. I'm not affected by it.
Okay, great. Okay, now.
Sorry, I can't hear you. I lost you.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the third type of therapy that you have gone into deep, which is meta health. Now, what is meta health?
Well, meta health, lifestyle prescription are more or less similar, but lifestyle prescription has a few added bonuses, which makes it really brilliant. And so is meta health. They believe in mind, body, social connect. How interlinked all these are. So, for example, now it is like just say it is summer, right? And if I'm going to wear a sweater and sit, then that's going to create problems for me. So you react to the environment.
Okay.
Like, just say there is a fight on the street, then you are affected by it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm losing you.
How are we affected by the? I'm able to hear you.
I'm actually losing you. Frozen again.
Gita, can you hear me?
Now I can. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me. So
Okay.
when
So
there is something
this
like
is the
this,
one challenge when I'm doing a live at 7 o'clock because I think that traffic at this point, everybody is going live at this
it's very
time.
heavy.
So a
True.
lot of lag to happen. That's why I prefer to move my sessions at 12 o'clock when there's lesser traffic, internet traffic. So this is
Okay.
something I've noticed as well. So yeah, okay. Anyways, let's go ahead.
So they believe in the mind body social connect. So you
Okay.
are definitely affected by what is happening inside of you and outside of you.
Okay.
Okay. So outside of you, just imagine that there is a fight on the road.
Okay.
Definitely that is going to trigger a response in you, especially just say that they go running and with a knife, brandishing a knife or throwing stones at each other. That is going to cause some ripple effect in each one of us who's viewing it or hearing the sounds. So that's the principle on which meta health and lifestyle work.
So I saw this wonderful, wonderful diagram which I even shared on my Instagram. So it was very colorful, and I thought I saw it very captivating. So there are a couple of what do you call it, like denominators: is stress, and then organ, lifestyle, social, belief, emotion. So stress triggers, and then the stress phase, regeneration trigger, regeneration phase, and then health. Quite a wonderful thing. So when you're learning lifestyle prescription, so will you be going behind the sciences of this, and when you're speaking to patients, will the therapy be based upon all these parameters?
Yes, of course. Because that's what stress does, and it triggers all of this. When there is a stress, then you're constantly thinking about the stress. That evokes a certain emotion within you. That emotion causes certain beliefs in you, certain values in you, and it causes symptoms when it remains unaddressed.
Okay. So as you were doing all this energy work and different modalities of healing, right? So what did you find one commonality between if something, if you're able to see a pattern between all the modalities that you've learned and the type of people that were coming for healing? Have you noticed a pattern? And if you have, what is it?
The common modality is, which connects all of them, is that you are your only resource. Everything is within you, and if you have an issue, there is a block in you. So resolve that when the body goes back to natural balance. And when you say talk about a pattern in an individual, pattern in all the clients, I will not say that there is a common pattern in each of in all of the clients, but each client in his life has two or three or maybe one incident which is constantly repeating itself.
Yeah.
You're just living out of that one pattern or two patterns.
And they always say, patterns repeat until we learn. And, if you don't learn, it comes back louder, more in your face. Like, hey, if you don't want to learn, come, I'll teach you a little bit more louder this time. So,
exactly. That's the way a symptom, it starts with a very small itch, it's knocking on your body saying that address this, address this. And if you're not going to address it and push it down, it becomes like a pressure cooker ready to explode. That's when you have a symptom.
Correct. Absolutely right. Now, let's talk about the science behind the mind and body connection. Yeah. What is the connection between the mind and body?
Okay. So now if you take a symptom, Does a symptom occur arbitrarily?
Hmm.
A symptom does not occur arbitrarily. It needs a trauma. Okay? A symptom needs a trauma to happen in your life. And this trauma has to be something which is very, very sudden. It has to be very dramatic where you do not know how to deal with it. And at this point, I would like to say that, when we say trauma, people normally go looking for very big traumas, like an accident or a teacher slapping a child or something like that. Sometimes it's very, very minuscule. It could be something very, very small. So, what is trauma to me might not be a trauma to another person.
Yeah.
So, you cannot generalize. So, you have to look at yourself and what is a trauma to you.
And how you perceive it and how
Perceive it.
yeah. Okay.
Exactly. So, what happens when there is a trauma? When there's a trauma, your body goes into stress. So, there's constant, you're obsessively thinking about it. Your blood pressure will increase. You stop eating. You don't sleep well. You lose weight. And at some level, see, we've lived so many years, most of us without any therapies, probably, So that means at some point we have resolved the issues, right? On a
Because we release
subconscious
it
level, it's
also,
not, it could be released, or you say that, okay, she's behaving that way. Okay, let me change, you know? So subconsciously, you have made that shift. So when you make that shift, then the body is actually healing. It goes into a healing mode. So when there is stress, there are certain symptoms. And when your body is healing, there are certain symptoms. And most of the pain occurs during the healing phase. Your knee pain, back pain, all of that occurs when you've resolved some issue. And what do? You think my body is in stress, right? But
okay,
actually, the
that again. That's a very interesting analogy you just put across me. So, when you have a knee pain and when you have a body pain, that means you're healing. Will you please explain that in a little deeper way?
Yeah. So again, there is a stress, and on some level, you have resolved that issue.
Okay.
Okay. In your own way, you have resolved the issue. And
Okay.
the conflict theme is pertaining to your musculoskeletal system, and you have resolved the issue concerned with your musculoskeletal system, then when you have resolved it, the body, which is in the healing phase, will start exhibiting pain.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
So
And
you also find inflammation. Pardon?
so if you're in constant pain, okay, assuming people who are in inflammatory conditions, example, so does that mean that the body is continuously healing? Is that the analogy it goes?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. What happens when there is inflammation is water goes to that particular organ. Water is a healing medium. It goes there to heal, and that is why it is inflamed. Whereas we
Okay.
think it is to the contrary.
Mm, mm. There's an issue that's why there's pain. There's a
Yeah,
problem that's why there's
exactly.
interesting. Wow,
Exactly.
that way. Wow, interesting.
So,
Yeah.
to explain what exactly happens during a trauma is much before, a few seconds before the trauma happens, your heart picks it up. There
Yeah.
may be so many times when, maybe you had to go to a particular place, you did not feel like going, you went there and something happened, and you were cursing yourself, saying, I shouldn't have done it, I should have listened to my intuition. But that is your heart having picked up that incident much before. And what does
And
it
it's
do?
not
It's
I always say it's a gut feeling, because a lot of the brain receptors which are similar in the brain are in the gut. So that's why we say gut feeling. Now you are saying the heart. So
no, that's going a little deeper because you're going into the vagus nerve, which is the biggest one running from the brain right through the body. So that's a totally a different concept which you're not going to address here because we wouldn't have the bandwidth or the time to go into it. But here the heart picks it up, and what does it do? It sends it to the brain. Okay? And the brain has 4 layers. One to do with digestion, one to do with the self-esteem, one layer is to do with protection, and the other layer is to do with your territory and your boundary. So based on how you perceive a situation, that is the trauma in this case, the trauma will land in one of these layers. Okay, supposing the trauma is to do with survival, it is to do with digestion, it goes into that particular layer. If it is to do with your self-worth, then it goes into that layer. Likewise, the other 2 layers. And what happens then? The brain will decide which organ is most suited at that point of time. And the energy will go into that organ and remains locked there. Okay? So supposing there is a situation, just say that a lady is crossing a road and it is an empty road, so she's going slowly, no problem, happy that, it's all to herself. And suddenly out of the blue, a car comes and stops inches before her feet. That is it's a big T trauma we call. At least I perceive it as this. I don't know how others may perceive. So at that moment, this is what is called as a trauma. Okay? So then the heart picks it up and sends it to the brain. And the brain will then decide. Now, it could be many ways. Now, this is a big survival issue. Will I survive or not? Then it will go into that particular organ. Now, is it only this part of her crossing the road and the car stopping in front which is going to be recorded by the brain? No. At the moment when I'm talking to you, like I mean, you may think that, that your brain is recording my glasses, my headphones, and maybe my lipstick, but it is perceiving a lot of other things. The way my eyes are, my nose are, so many other stuff. So for her, similarly, maybe the color of the car, the brand of the car, the driver, what color shirt he was wearing, his reaction, whether his eyebrow went up or he was angry, that reaction. Or maybe there is smell of something frying outside, onion smell coming up, or maybe a dog barking. All that is recorded in the mind, and these are triggers. So once any point of time she comes across a trigger, the body will start sending messages, and if she doesn't listen to it, that is when the symptoms start. So we need to find
this. Okay, it took me to a space where I clearly I think something traumatic. I'm not able to really point my finger and identify which moment it was, but I know that my body becomes extremely uncomfortable in hot places. When the temperature is hot, I become restless, anxious, the body just freezes up kind of thing, So I become so a lot of people around me think like, oh, she's so high and mighty, she can't be in a safe, hot space, But that is not the truth. It's not that I don't want to be there. I become, literally, it scares me to be in this place because some memory somewhere, I think, which has done something that is like, it's phobia to me for me to go there. So I will so that I'm not in that kind of situation. It's like how people get scared of claustrophobic, for me, I get very scared.
Right.
Yeah, so
there is an issue there. I lost you again.
That's what I remember. That's what came to me when you're saying, some trauma was happening, right? So that is
right.
Yeah. Interesting, how our mind and our body, they are all in connection of the reactions or the events which happen in our life. They kind of invade deep into not only our memory. It's now you're even telling me a new knowledge to me that it goes into layers in your brain, that it sits in a particular place in a particular layer. So that's cool and new information.
And that's just not all, there is so many, it could be something to do with when you were in utero, not only when you were as a baby, but in utero, or it could be epigenetic, carrying on from, generations ahead. Because You as a child came into existence when your grandmother was pregnant with your mother, 5 months pregnant with your mother. So you have gone through your grandmother's life, you have gone through your mother's life, you're going through your life.
Wow, that is now sound deep. You just put that visual image in mind, and that's the first time I'm hearing that. Wow. Now that is something extremely. For those who are hearing it for the first time, I think that's definitely some food for thought and reflection. Why is it sometimes we realize we mirror or even we behave in certain way, and we kind of pick up a lot of behavioral, or we even relate to our mom and our grandmothers because we are part of them. What you're saying, no?
Exactly. We've been through what they've been through too.
Wow, that is huge. Okay, so lots of work to just not clear our baggage. Now we have to also clear our karmic and our ancestral baggage as well.
It's not necessarily. Another very interesting factor is that when you clear things for yourself, it's clearing stuff for your progeny, for your children, for the future.
Yeah, that's something to look forward to. Okay, so let's move on to getting in touch with you. So let's assume somebody wants to work on themselves and they want to work on their energy field. Right? How can they get in touch with you? Where are you based at right now?
I live in Chennai, and you can get in touch with me on Instagram, or my email ID is the Gita Jayakumar spelling, which you see here, at yahoo.com. Simple.
Wonderful. So I think when the world opens up, they can also come and see you in person, right? So you're in Chennai.
Wow, that will be a pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
So usually those who come to you, all right, what are some notable shifts that you have noticed? What happens after you have come and taken a couple of sessions? What would you say? Some things that you're really happy and grateful for that has shifted for these people.
Um, the shift, if I've done my job well, is instant. So I don't believe in prolonging sessions. My session, I always tell them, when I am a therapist, I'm a therapist. I'm a friend outside this therapy room. So I need to get you out of this pain. So that is my job. So aside of this, you're my friend outside. So I have worked on clients. Now this is very individual based. When I say it happened to a few people, does not mean it's going to happen to everybody, but it will happen in 1 to few sessions. I worked on clients where I have set right fractures in just 20 minutes. People had to be wheeled into emergency rooms. There was a guy who called me from an emergency room, and the fracture set right in 20 minutes. The doctor just couldn't believe his eyes.
Wow, that's like a miracle healing almost.
Yeah, I mean, each time, like though we have seen so many clients, each moment is an aha moment, because it is like, wow, this is it. So I worked on depressions where the client was rid of depression. There was this lady who just couldn't speak before the therapy started, and at the end of it, it was gone. And at 6 years down the lane, she has her own showroom. She's doing so well. And tumor markers have come down from 500 to 10. And people, some of them in wheelchairs, are walking today. Women, despite going in for IVF and were told that the couple could never have children again, are mothers, parents of 2 or 3 children. It's endless. As I told you, it's a miracle seeing all of this unfold before your eyes.
Yeah.
Though you are aware of it.
Yeah, when you're connected to the source and you let the divine take control, I guess
Exactly.
the divine, you become just a tool, a mere channel perhaps.
Yeah, without divinity, you are nothing. It's a prayer which I learned from one of the doctors, where it's a silent prayer to God, that this person is coming to me and let me be a channel for, helping him, getting rid of whatever he has. Because without that, we are nothing.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So, to everyone who comes on my show, I do this thing called the billboard exercise. I'm going to take you through that as well. Okay, so let's say, let's get on, plug, and let's go on this beautiful visualization journey. Are you ready?
Yeah? Wonder what it entails. You got me on the other side now.
Okay. So what's going to happen is there is a huge big billboard, okay, which is in Germany flyover. Okay, wow. It is LED type of பயங்கரமா பெரிய billboard. The same billboard they are also putting in Kuala Lumpur, one in New York and one in Dubai and all the major cities in the world. Okay? Like this most awesome billboard. And guess what? You are on the billboard. Okay? So now you have to just take a little bit of time, go into yourself, okay, see what is it, how are you seeing yourself there, what are you wearing, who's with you, where are you, what is written on the billboard and what is the message that you want to give on the billboard?
I'm connected to my family and the world. I have them inside of me. Okay?
Okay. So there's a picture of you. Can you vocalize it so that we also get to visualize it?
Beg your pardon? I'm losing you again.
Can you vocalize it and make it visual so we are able to see the picture as well?
Okay. I am wearing pink and violet, which signifies love and connected to divinity. And it is filled with hearts. Each and tiny, tiny hearts, the size of a mustard seed. And each of this denotes the human race and the living beings across the globe.
Beautiful. Nice.
And the billboard has a pink background which depicts love.
Okay, what is it reading? What is it saying?
You are your only resource. You have all your answers.
Wow, that's deep. That's nice. Wow, that's kind of a great, profound visualization. And I really hope, and wish and pray that billboard does come true and you are on that billboard and you are, sharing this message and helping so many people impact in the ways they need to, and recognize that they are their only source, right? And everything is within them. That's a beautiful, beautiful
Thank
message.
you.
What is some of your favorite quotes, Gita?
The one which really impressed me, it stands out from the time I was a school-going girl, and that is, fate links unlinked, unlinked links. It links the thing that no man thinks. And that... Beg your pardon?
Slowly, say that again slowly.
Fate links unlinked, unlinked links. It links the things which no man thinks.
Wow.
And if you reflect on it, each one of us lives life on this quote, based out of this quote.
Beautiful, beautiful. What are you reading currently?
At the moment, it is a little deep, in-depth work on the brain.
Okay. So you're reading something on the brain, is it?
Yes. I mean, the neural pathways and how it works.
Cool. All right. Do you have any questions for me? We're coming to almost the end of the session. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. How are you so cheery, bubbly? Every time I've seen your shows, wow, it's so inspirational. Like you were saying that you were angry at your son, but the way you handled him was so cool.
Oh, sometimes I get very, very angry, trust me. But I guess the reason why I'm bubbly and cheerful and, happy is because I have felt the exact opposite. I've been in a very dark space. Although my nature, my dominant nature is cheerful and bubbly. I've always been a bubbly child. People will always, kind of, um, how do I say, identify with me or probably just say, hey, Kavita, you've got a very bubbly nature. And I kind of continued with that. But I recognize that right now I'm even more putting a lot of energy and effort into bringing up that side of me because I've been in a space where I didn't identify with myself. So I have to do this on a constant basis because this reminds me of who I am. And, this is my connection to the divine, my thought.
That's wonderful. You've just shifted on to your higher level.
Yeah. So that is why I do what I do. And thank you so much for noticing. It's really wonderful that
Thank you so much for having me.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much for giving us so much insight. And you've really opened my eyes and even taught me a few things which I really didn't know. So thank you so much. My sincere gratitude for you, for having you on the show. And any last words from you?
Again, it's the same thing. Your body is intelligent and just live in awareness and make small shifts in your life towards your own betterment.
Wonderful. This is the last thing dance story. We are signing out with Special K and Gita Jayakumar. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.